You like Betty so much. Who's the actor's like dad in real life?
So,
No, it's the dude from Aerosmith. You didn't know that?
oh shit, I didn't know that. Okay,
What is with me?
okay. So, Captain America 4, aka Captain America Brave New World. What were your thoughts?
Well, if you know anything about the movie production history of this movie, because if you're a fan of movies, quote unquote, you have to always know the production history of everything, even before a movie comes out. So if you would know this movie was originally supposed to be called The New World Order.
The New World Order that we're living in.
So yeah, that's I. It was kind of sounded more interesting than what we got now. Cause not Brave New World. What is alluding to like some other book, but so
Is it alluding to a comic? Or
no, but it's a Brave New World's like another like a not. I think it's like a Orwellian type fiction book. It's like kind of like 1984. That I at least from what I know, I don't read books. I think it's more your thing.
yeah, I read more actual novels. You do too, but you read I read fiction novels too. I read Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Yeah, but
Stay tuned for Crime and Punishment that will be coming up probably in like a month. But as far as the movie's concerned, well, not so much the movie, but the comic book accuracy of the movie. What did you think of it? Like, do you think like how? Because he's a comic guy, right? I will another thing.
box is back here.
I will be doing videos about comics. Again, that will be coming soon. But what did you think about, let's say, the portrayal of Red Hulk or Sam Wilson as Captain America? Like, what exactly did you think?
Well, the problem is with this new type of MCU movies is that they already planned these movies out in advance, like basically like 10 years ago, because that's when they decided to.
COVID fucked everything up.
No, no, I'm talking about
Allegedly.
like in the comics. They've been planning this like change to happen like basically 10 years ago. That's when, or even like 50, because that's when they started. They turned the Miss Marvel into Captain Marvel, and then they brought in Kamala Khan, and then they created
Kamala Harris.
they created Miles. Um, and obviously they started doing all these legacy like hand me downs, and that's basically what Sam Wilson is as the Falcon. Now, Red Hulk is kind of different because he was before that, but it's still kind of the same idea, where they basically created like another variant of the Hulk to
Within the 616
yeah,
universe.
in the 616 universe. And but originally when Marvel did like the hand me down to make the Falcon Captain America, it was like, okay, this is gonna be new Captain America. But obviously what happened is that they took it back, and at first they were like, oh no, Steve Rogers is gonna be Captain America again. And then they're like, oh no, we can have both of them come around, and that creates this problem where in the universe we have all these variants of these different
So what you don't think we can do that in the MCU? Is that what you're trying to say?
I think in general, even in the comics, like the idea of them having so many variants, it's the reason why in DC that they had to reboot the DC universe.
Because they had gay Superman.
No, no, it was just even before that is because well, we have Gay Superman now, but the problem is that
That's the new one that's coming out, right?
or it's been out for a minute if you read the comics, but what I'm saying is that like in the 80s when DC had to reboot their continuity, the problem was there was already like too many Superman like type characters. There was Superman, there was Supergirl, there was his dog, there was, and now we don't like people don't seem to have a problem with that, but it is kind of a problem when you have the same people with the same type of powers running around and the same Earth. That's why in this, like I know you're complaining about it a little bit. That's why Hulk didn't show up in this movie because it would have took away from um
The main character of this alleged movie.
they would have took away from just the ability of having like Sam Wilson fight Red Hulk, because that ups the stakes a lot. To have just like to take away the other guy that had the same exact powers as him fight the Red Hulk. I know it would have been cool, but but also
We can't have everything we want.
yeah, but
Which pisses me off a lot. I don't know how the fuck you feel about that, but that pisses me off a lot. Not being able to see fucking Hulk fight with Red Hulk or see the fucking X-Men and the Avengers team up to fight fucking Thanos and with the Fantastic Four. You know what I mean?
I could kind of because I since
That doesn't piss you off.
no, because I read the comics and I could just get that in the comics. I understand what they're doing with the movies, and it's just like Okay, they can do their own thing because I know this thing exists and I can read that anytime.
Yeah, but most people aren't gonna want to read the comics.
Cause they are. Oh, fucking! I need my Zen. I need my Zen. I need my Zen. I saw it on the camera. Oh my god.
He's a fucking Red Hulk.
Did you give me the Zen? Give me the Zen. Talking.
What are you, President Ross, taking your fucking meds?
Anyway, what were we talking about with this movie?
So the movie, right? So the comics, yeah.
Did you see the thing that was supposed to take place before this with the Falcon and Winter Soldier? Did you see that?
I saw like the first episode, but that was like when it first came out. I completely forgot about
Yeah,
it.
because I went on with the first like Disney Plus original show.
Yeah, that was the first Disney Plus original
I don't
show.
know about you, but when people bring up the problem with like modern MCU and they say that the problem is that you need to watch all these shows to like understand it, I don't believe that because I didn't watch any of the shows and I could enjoy them.
Plus, here's the thing. Well, first of all, I think that's going back to the comics. I think that's one thing good that the MCU does where you don't have to watch all the Marvel shit. I mean, some people say, "Oh, I don't understand the references," but you really fucking don't, because like that Isaiah, I can't remember what his superhero name was in the comics in the Falcon show, but I didn't need to watch it to enjoy the movie.
From what I understood with that character, they were basically trying to allude to
Him being a black man.
no, weren't they trying to allude to like the Tuskegee Airmen? You know what those guys are?
You talking about the black guys that fought in World War II?
Yeah.
No. What they were alluding to in the show, I don't know if this is canon in the comics or not, was that there was a black man that was captain. I guess that got the soldier serum first because they were experimenting on black people.
Yeah, but wasn't that what the Tuskegee Airmen were? They're experimented on.
Maybe that might have been the MCU version or the Marvel version of the Tuskegee, whatever the fuck you said.
No, I'm not, I'm trying to say is that they took inspiration from the Tuskegee Airmen.
Oh, they could have taken inspiration from that and then applied it to Marvel. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in Marvel comics or not, but I know it is in the MCU. And Isaiah Rashad or whatever the fuck his name, whatever the fuck his name was, he I guess was the original experiment for the
To be like the next Captain America, basically.
basically to get the super soldier serum because they weren't sure how it was gonna work or anything, and they stuck it in his ass and he started rapping right after. I'm kidding. He was the original rapper.
No, but that was crazy in the movie when he just had like because also this movie they were trying to allude to.
Wait,
like,
can I say something real quick? When I saw him in his jumpsuit and when I saw him acting crazy, it just felt like O.J. Simpson. Like, did you not get that feeling?
no, I just got I was like, how did they get away with making something so funny but like so real at the same time? Like the fact that this guy he just randomly wanted to like grab someone's gun and start shooting the president and like they got him like in jail and shit. I'm like, how did they get away with doing something like no one like I guess cause they're trying to prove the point that like man like as a black man you always gonna get locked up, man. Like they're trying to prove that point. But it was just the way it happened. It was like so like it felt like a
Well,
joke.
because you needed the context of the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
No, I understood like why like cause they explained it. They explained like he was experimenting and all that stuff. That's why he didn't want to come back because like America basically screwed him his whole entire life. So that's why he didn't want to go to that little press conference. Well, what I'm saying is, what's funny is that like it cause even like let's say theoretically I didn't know about any of that. I just like watched this movie like I didn't know anything about Marvel or whatever.
You just went with your girlfriend or your son, the son you only see on the weekends.
Because I'm working weekdays at the warehouse all the time. But what I'm saying is, like, it's so like stereotypical, like playing into the stereotypes that like an innocent like black guy just grabs someone's gun and he starts running. Like, I'm sorry, I was dying. That was it was funny. That was funny. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, the movie itself, I don't think was bad. I think a lot of people are just shitting on Marvel movies just to shit on it. I mean, I don't think it was a bad movie. I don't think I wasted my money getting the tickets.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like, I think it was an enjoyable experience. I mean, I definitely would have taken a date to go see that movie. It was pretty decent. I mean, nobody gave a fuck about it.
Yeah. I think again, like the only real problem I had with this is that like it felt like obviously since I am forced to know all this like production history because all the news media always like to share like oh this happened in this movie and they changed the name blah blah. But
Harrison Ford didn't care about the movie.
Yeah. like I'm forced to care about all that stuff instead of just
Well,
like
you want to hear an interesting fact about the movie? Harrison Ford, they didn't use CGI for Red Hulk,
oh, yeah.
right? What they did was, but before they shot the scene where he turned into Red Hulk, they just kept on. They had like Star Wars fans ask him about They had Star Wars. Yeah, like, who shot first? They asked him about Star Wars, and he just turned into Red Harrison Ford.
Yeah, like live on air.
Yeah, this happened live on air. It was no CGI. They just asked him about who shot first, Greedo or I was like Guido. Like, when they asked who shot first, Greedo or fucking Han Solo, and he turned into the Red Hulk, alleged Red Hulk. Whole time it's just Harrison Ford.
But it's funny how
Well, speaking of Red Hulk, going back to the comics, doesn't Red Hulk shoot fire?
I have no idea. I haven't gotten that far into
Because I heard that Red Hulk shoots fire, and the more angry he gets, the more fire he shoots.
I've never heard about them. Yeah, I've never heard about them.
I played Red Hulk in the Incredible Hulk video game on PS2.
What's like Incredible Destruction?
No, it's just called Incredible Hulk.
There was a because like the Red Hulk is like
He's a playable character. You could play the Gray Hulk too in
Grey Hulk.
Yeah, in that game you could play.
Yeah, because I thought Red Hulk is like a semi-recent character. It's not like I think it's like a 2009 character that came out like I don't know. I might be tweaking out. All I know is that
Well, you want to hear something funny? I think a lot of Marvel comics in the recent, like maybe 10, 15 years, maybe you can confirm this, that all these Marvel comics that have been coming out, they've been coming out so they can make Marvel movies off of it, right?
yeah, that's
Like, because that's what I think about Devil's Reign, the Devil's Reign series, because that's what they're going to do in the new Daredevil series.
why I think
Well, that's what they're going to lead up to it.
what the comics are at this point, especially for Marvel, they're basically like research and development for like the MCU or like other products like what's it called, Marvel Rivals, that video game that's when that came out, because they don't expect the characters in the comics to have any sort of like success or anything like that.
I mean, the only characters I think they care about is the Jonathan Hickman Spider-Man, maybe.
Yeah, because I think eventually they probably want to create like a reboot. Like this is like probably way in the future, but in general, they just want to like have the rights to these characters and be able to do whatever they want with them. And then eventually, whatever good idea comes out, they might take that. Because the problem is that Marvel kind of like they kind of stopped picking like the very early storylines to really touch with. And so that again, it's probably because all those storylines existed.
I think that's the same reason why they even made Miles Morales, because they knew a bunch of, I mean, kids of every fucking background love
Yeah,
Spider-Man. So it's like, oh shit, what if we make a black one and then everyone's gonna like it?
that was totally the idea when Bendis created Miles Morales, and then he did the same thing.
Well, I mean, I think Miles Morales, not to get political or anything, but I think Miles Morales came from like a genuine place of like, oh shit, like it'd be pretty cool if we had a black Spider-Man.
No. You want to know why?
Why?
Because Brian Michael Bendis did like the same thing like 4 times. He did the same thing where he was like, "Oh, if I create a original version different from the," because the thing with Marvel is that like for comic creators is that you don't get paid if you make like a variant that's like a totally different not variant, but like if you make like a iteration of a character, you won't get paid for that. You have to create like a totally different version of the character.
Oh shit.
That's why the Winter Soldier, the guy who created the idea of the Winter Soldier, Ed Brubaker, he gets paid like nothing for like anything with Bucky, because that's Bucky. And so if anyone who's gonna get, it's gonna be the family of like Jack Kirby. They're the only ones who are gonna get money from it. Same thing with what's another like iteration of a character?
You know, like Elektra as Daredevil.
Yeah, but that's kind of weird because already Elektra exists.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
But maybe like
maybe they don't want to pay Frank Miller, so like if she shows up in the MCU, she's gonna be Daredevil.
maybe like the black Iron Man girl.
You know, no, that's why that's how they got around it, because if this is what Brian Michael Bendis figured out, I think he was like, okay, if I make, cause you ever go to the store and you see like the Spider-Man toys and it says like one action figure Spider-Man, they call it Spider-Man, and the other action figure that's Miles, they just call it Miles Morales. That's why they do that, because it's a legally distinct version from the original Spider-Man, and that's what he figured out when he created Riri. He was like, oh, I'm just gonna do the same thing with that. Like I'm gonna create a legally distinct version of the character so I can get royalties.
So
Because
is Miles Morales legally distinct from Spider-Man?
Yeah, because
So he's gonna get royalties from that.
yeah, he gets royalties for like all like the Spider-Verse movies, all that. Cause and he probably gets more than like anyone who like let's say they drew like a special Spider-Man costume. They might get some money, but at the end of the day, it's not the same as like creating like a whole different character. Again, if they just took a character, let's say they took like J. Jonah Jameson and they turned him into a superhero, and then he goes like crazy, and he gets a movie. Whoever created that, they're not gonna get anything for like they might get something, but not it's not gonna be the same as like Stan Lee's estate or Steve Ditko's estate's gonna get because they created J. Jonah Jameson technically.
Okay, I see what you mean. I see.
But that's why the Red Hulk it's like that version is not the same as creating like a totally different because what again they did the same thing like Red Hulk is like the Winter Soldier where they took a character that already existed and then they made him powers but like who Jeff Loeb I think he created Red Hulk he's not gonna get like anything from that because Thunderbolt Ross was created by Stan Lee and
Jack Kirby.
Jack Kirby. Sorry, because like in the Hulk and like the original run, there's like a fuck ton of artists and stuff that get involved. So like the Master in this movie, we're going back. The Batman movie, right? I was a Master, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't know his exact name.
They never
But
said like
what I remembered was for those of you that have seen the Incredible Hulk, which is in my opinion top 5 MCU movies, the Master, they don't explicitly say that he's the here's in. They don't explicitly say that he is the Master, but they allude to it towards the end of the movie because what happens is the serum that made the Hulk the gamma shit.
the radiation.
Yeah, because if it falls on his head, then he starts having like a migraine headache.
Yeah.
He has. If you're grown, you know what a migraine headache is. He gets like a migraine headache, and his fucking head starts pulsing.
Was that like an Ed credit scene?
No, that was like right before the. I think that was right. No.
Or like the final fight?
Before the final fight, yeah, before the final fight, they show his head like bubbling up because in the Hulk, what they were planning to do with the Hulk was have a trilogy, and in that trilogy, Red Hulk was supposed to come out. So the guy that originally played Thunderbolt Ross,
Yeah.
he was going.
So,
Yeah, God rest his soul.
whoever
Forgot
his name.
I forgot his name too, but he was the last white man on Earth. And
He was in Civil War and he was like, we need to stop this now.
Yeah.
And then in this movie, they're like, Sam Wilson's like, it's all your fault. Why do you think you want to bring back the Avengers?
I mean, if you think about it, like Thunderbolt Ross in this movie is the equivalent of like
He's like,
he will wait before you're gonna say he's like Biden before the 2020 elections, and then like the original Thunderbolt Ross is like Joe Biden from from back in the day. Literally,
No.
it's a perfect allegory.
that is kind of true.
It's a perfect allegory, but let's keep out of politics, right? Yeah, I mean
So you're talking about the plan for the Hulk movies?
the
You know why they can't do the like
yeah
Hulk
because of
thing?
Paramount.
Yeah, because the rights and everything. So that's why they need to cram in like Hulk related stuff in anything but like a movie. 'Cause I think even She-Hulk is like
Yeah, because She-Hulk.
it's like a TV show, so they can get away with it.
She-Hulk bought back the Abomination,
Yeah.
and they basically said, "Oh, excuse me, the Abomination, instead of being a badass, instead of growing 100 heads, that's what happened in the comics, right?"
I didn't get that. Dude.
Okay, I think my uncle might have told me because my uncle grew up with Marvel when it first came out in the 60s, and back then the comics that they had, they used to kill flies with them, wipe their ass with the fucking comics, right? They didn't value the comics, but no, yeah. Abomination grew a bunch of heads, and he was gonna make a return. I think maybe in the second movie. I know Abomination was to come back. He was going to come back as a more badass version of Abomination, not as a homosexual in the She-Hulk series, right? Where he's doing Namaste, and he's doing all these Hindu Wahiguru fucking practices, right? So they bastardized his character, and then Thunderbolt Ross, he in real life the actor passed away, and then they bought back the what was his name what the fuck is it? The Master?
The Master got the big head.
Yeah.
Or like and so that's weird in the comics, and then I think in the original idea for this movie, he was gonna be more traditional, have like a big head and all that. That's sorry, I stopped doing it because I'm talking all out. It's gonna fall out. But in this one, he looks like he just has COVID. like it's funny. Funny. The original Master design, he just looks like a green Yakub. That's all they had to do.
Well, wait, since this is on your thing, can you put a picture of Yakub so they know?
Okay, yeah.
But no, yeah.
I mean, if you don't know who that group is, it's fine with you.
I mean, well, because we're melanated, so we know who that is.
You need to look. You need to do your research and all that, man.
But no, yeah, I think they were trying to close the book on these characters from the original Hulk movie by bringing them back in She-Hulk, which is the Abomination, and then the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, he became a homosexual, and
Beta Hulk.
Beta Hulk, I mean, I thought it was funny in Endgame. No, I really thought it was funny to see him acting normal, but well, from what I know in the comics, he reverts back to Crazy Hulk, right?
Yeah, because they need to keep the Hulk going on, dude.
Well, obviously, because that's the fucking Hulk.
Yeah, you can't just keep on. You can't have a character be at peace, and when you're gonna have to keep on making comics about them.
Yeah, like Guts from Berserk.
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
Chapter came out, by the way.
Oh shit! Why the fuck didn't you tell me?
Because nothing happened. He's still in the freaking prison, so just like.
Okay. I don't want to get into that. But yeah, I think they wanted to close the book on these characters, and we didn't get to the most important character,
Who is?
the love interest of Hulk, Betty.
And then She-Hulk, she wasn't in it.
She wasn't in it, but she was in this movie.
Oh yeah,
Brave New World.
Well, to me, I don't think they're really trying to make like a really they're trying to close anything with this movie. I just think they
nerds like me, they brought it back so I could be like,
I did like that they were able to take something that happened like I don't know, almost like 20 years ago.
2008.
Yeah, so like then we're almost like 20 years ago
15 years ago, yeah.
You know math better than me. So yeah, it was interesting to see like especially his character because he was basically like involved since like the inception, and he is in the MCU right now. He is a character that started and is like still alive. I guess who else is still alive? Like, oh, I guess the Hulk is alive.
I mean, in the Incredible Hulk movie, the only ones that are, I mean, technically all the characters are still alive.
But I'm talking about who's like a player in the MCU that was still from that like OG era technically.
What was the name of that terrorist? Oh no, wait, he died, right? From Iron Man 3? The Mandalore, not the Mandalore.
Whiplash? Or not?
No, not Whiplash. Oh my god, the fucking terrorist. What was it? The one with the 10 rings. What the fuck is his name?
Oh, Mandarin.
The Mandarin. Yeah, the Mandarin. Yep. The Mandarin. Well, we know who the Mandarin originally was, right? But no, yeah. Yeah, they're all still alive. All like other than.
Oh, I'm talking about like before like the Avengers, like that era.
Other than the first nigga from Iron Man, what's his name? He made it with the fucking box. No, he didn't say a fucking box. He made the suit with the box full of scraps.
Who's that guy?
The first villain in Iron Man.
The Ironmonger guy?
Yeah, Ironmonger. Yeah.
Still around?
No, he died. He's the only one that's dead from that era.
But again, what I'm trying to say is that
and Loki, technically,
even though the actual actors like dead and everything, the character like still experienced like all these things. Like he even said in the movie, he was like someone had to take the fall for what happened with Hulk and the Abomination. And you would think
you think people would have forgot about that?
Yeah,
within that universe.
Yeah, but to him, it's still like that. What happened there still rippled into like him eventually becoming the president.
Well, when you think about it, when you have a big green nigga that tears apart a fucking city, I think it's gonna take a while before people forget about and move on from the repercussions of that. I mean, think about this, right? Like we from Chirac, nigga, right? Can you imagine some big green nigga? I mean, we're still talking about fucking FBG Duck and Chief Keef, and it's been over 10 fucking years. Now imagine if some big green nigga and some other big fucking monster fought in the middle of fucking State Street.
Big Russian monster.
Some big Russian monster fought in fucking State Street in fucking downtown Chicago. We would still be talking about it to this day. Well, man, that nigga, man, what the fuck they do with that nigga, man?
Well, I do think maybe like the average civilian, like in the MCU, because they had to deal with like the invasion in New York and
that's what I like. Now I'm gonna cut you off. That's what I like about the Daredevil series. Review coming soon. Obviously, I'm waiting. I don't know if you want to do a review of it, but
I'm waiting for you to finish Evangelion so then I can watch Daredevil.
Well, I'm talking about the Daredevil series that's coming out. But yeah, the new one. Yeah, you know what? Skip the Netflix one. But no, yeah, in the Netflix Daredevil series, you see the repercussions of the Battle of New York and how it affects people. I mean, the whole the the whole fucking series starts because of the repercussions of the Battle of New York. You know what I mean? So they're feeling that effect, but us, people that only watch the movies only know about that. Well, they don't know about that because they haven't seen the series, right? And now I think a big chunk of people have seen the Daredevil series, but or the Jessica Jones series, right? Because that one was pretty good too. But no, yeah, I think Ross talking about
I'm not saying that people weren't affected, but I'm saying like after so many other things that happened, that kind of feels like yesterday's history. But for Ross, that incident basically led into him having to like have like a heart failure and then having to take the pills.
well, it's like let's take it back to real time, like a Vietnam veteran is still crying about the atrocities of Vietnam. I mean, that was 40 fucking years ago.
I want to get into. I like all veterans. I don't have any personal.
I love all veterans, but the point that but the point but the point that I'm trying to make is that the way a Vietnam veteran looks at Vietnam is the same way that General Ross looks at the Abomination and
That's what I'm
Hulk
trying to
fight.
say is because
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
no, I'm trying to say is that yeah, it just makes you think about how many things in the universe has passed, and but we
And we forget because we think that everything started and not started and ended, but we thought everything ended with fucking the blip and then No Way Home.
yeah, that's like as far as like the average person thinks, but
Yeah, but if you're a true fan, you're like, holy shit. Yeah, there was a lot of fucking repercussions from the
okay, because
you know what? This movie wasn't just good. I think it was fucking great.
nah, I still think
Well, I think you're racist. I think you're a little racist.
no, it's just I'm gonna the thing that really bothered me about this movie is so many green screens. Like I know they were reshooting and everything, but the fact like I could tell like even the scene when Bucky and
I'm surprised I'm surprised Harrison Ford didn't get hurt on this. I'm surprised he didn't get hurt in this
he
one.
didn't accidentally get into a plane crash. Now he's gonna actually get her. I wanna bring
God rest. Hey, God keep Harrison Ford safe, please, please.
yeah, because he needs to be in Indy 6 eventually. Da, 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 da. Okay, anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, just all the green screen. It just takes me out of it. Like I thought it was bad when I saw which one was it? Black Panther, I think. That one to me felt like the most like atrocious like implementation of like CGI and green. Because the problem is that all these movies they won't even like have like even the onset locations. They'll just totally green screen it. Even let me the scene with Bucky and Sam when they're in the office, like you could tell the both of them weren't in the same room at the same time.
And that's what I was gonna say. Well, bringing back to other MCU movies, that's what I hated about the Spider-Man movies, the Tom Holland movies. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think most of the fucking movies were shot in Atlanta. They were shot in Atlanta in a fucking green screen studio.
Yeah,
They weren't shot in New York.
yeah,
If Ice Spice wasn't in it, then it wasn't in New York.
yeah. Because it just like it just feels like all these movies are just made to they're like obviously I don't want to go like full Scorsese and feel like oh these aren't movies. Why are you going to these are amusement park rides? But yeah, they just force these movies out and then they just think with the MCU they're just like okay what's the quickest way that we can make this scene? Oh, have him on a green screen, we'll green screen him on the bench, him talking to this other guy. It was all right during like the COVID years, I guess, when they're just like they couldn't do that stuff. But now it's like, come on, like you guys are just trying to like cheaply make like produce.
They're just being lazy. They're just being lazy with the whole thing.
And then people like I asked you, I even asked you during the movie, like, can you tell this is on a green screen?
Yeah, I could tell right away because we're both cinemaphiles.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes like, I ask you something and you're like, nah, I can't tell this.
Well, because sometimes I'm trying to enjoy the movie for what it is.
Mm. But it's still just a
No, I agree with what you're saying that it kind of takes away from the movie, right? It kind of not removes. It kind of destroys the what's the word I'm looking for? The immersion of the film because like when you watch the Daredevil series, it's actually shot in New York. When you actually watch the Iron Man movie, it's shot in the Middle East. And then what made that movie so much more powerful was that we were still at war in the Middle East. So seeing fucking Robert Downey Jr., you know what I mean?
no. I almost missed the little like his little handler. We almost forgot to mention that.
Oh, yeah, I want to mention it in a bit, but let me just finish this piece. So when we see Robert Downey Jr. in the Middle East looking for weapons of mass destruction, and he's the
Yeah, he could have been doing.
and he was the weapon of mass destruction. Literally, he fucking
And
was.
then in the second one,
He created Ultron.
and then the second one, we see Elon Musk in the second one, and we're like, oh, I could be.
Well, back then I didn't know who that was. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. Whole time we didn't even know that's the real Iron Man.
Well, it's funny because he was cool with like I guess back then he was more cool with like liberals, I guess, and they're like, wow, he's creating the future, and now he's just like, you see that one picture saying,
I mean, I don't think anybody likes him now.
did you see the one where where it looked like he was Darth Maul in the phone?
Yeah,
I don't need to put that one, but yeah, I know when I looked at you, I was like, what are they trying to do with this? So in the movie, he has in the beginning of the movie, there's this one girl that she looks like mysterious, and then that's when like that assassination attempt happens, and it looks like she's gonna be like the villain or whatever. And then and she's like this short freaking like
she's like a short, little, petite, little fucking like porn star, basically.
what?
I just said she's a porn star because she was small and petite. Wasn't she kicking ass in the movie too?
Yeah, she took down like
Yeah, like that's another thing that we need to stop with these movies is having fucking 5'2" petite little fucking girls or women fighting fucking 6'5" fucking black guys.
my problem with those things when they treat women as like so that they can handle like all these like big dudes and everything.
Because
They
I mean, real quick, we're from the hood. We've seen fucking female cops try to fight these big ass fucking
Yeah,
guys.
but if you're gonna have like a woman fight, you have to
Give her superpowers.
you have to not treat her like a dude, because with the way that they all these other movies they kind of stopped it a little bit now, but they treat them as like they could go one on one with like everyone, and like that's not remote. A dude, I could kind of believe that, but like you have to play into like what they're already good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're good at like I could believe a woman being good at like a long distance. Like if there was a girl and she had like a sniper, I kind of believe.
Or maybe Black Widow. Did you believe her?
If it's based off of like agility and being able to move around,
Yeah, like Elektra. When you see Elektra, well, you haven't seen it, but when you see Elektra fight, like in the Daredevil series, she's very like well calculated in the way she fights.
that's why we had the what's it called? Not the damsel in distress. We had the what's that?
The femme fatale.
Femme fatale. You had you had to work with
Work with what you got, baby.
work with what you got, and it has to be realistic. But now this one, I'm like, we don't have to do this anymore. It's 2025. We don't have to believe
Trump
that-
is president.
Yeah, we don't have to believe that stuff like that is possible. And not even that. It's like less creative. If you would have had, if you
Well, at least if she had superpowers, then I would have been okay with it. But we know what.
even that,
I mean, I think me and you both know what her superpower was in this movie.
yeah, it was wait, so yeah, so she's like this petite girl, looks weird, her face is weird. I don't even know how she got into the movie set.
Her new bed's a little weird too, no?
Yeah, and then so there's this like in the beginning when she shows up in the movie, we're both like she's gonna be like the villain or she knows something and like that. And then the one dude who's like the new Falcon, I guess, he looks it up and he's like, yeah, she's from Israel, and we're like,
She's Israeli, and then we look at each other because we're both Nick Fuentes. We're both fans of Nick Fuentes. We look at each other like this.
so I'm like, are they gonna do what I think they're doing? Because this was the first version of the movie was called New World Order. So I'm like, are they gonna do what I think they're doing? They're gonna talk.
Well, relax. We're not on Rumble. We're not on Rumble, bro.
The movie was talking about, so I'm like, okay, are they gonna is like a high production Disney movie gonna talk about this? Because also, when they were having that meeting with like Japan and India and France, I was like, it's kind of funny how they're acting like the Middle East doesn't exist or whatever, even though they're trying to immerse everyone in reality. But then
You know who did acknowledge the Middle East?
Ooh,
Iron Man.
yeah. But I just thought it was funny. Like, if you're gonna get all these other countries, shouldn't you get that one country that America really invests in? But then they drop that, and then nothing else happens to that. And then eventually, she just becomes like a good character because they know, oh, like we're on the same page. But I'm just like, oh, that was a weird drop. So basically, what they're trying to say is that I don't know if they're trying to say this, but they were like they had to like stick like Israel somewhere in the movie.
Well, I think maybe because they know that the political pendulum is swinging back to the right. You know what I mean? It's swinging back that way. So they probably thought, oh, like, well, conservatives like Israel, so let's give them an Israeli fucking boss babe.
Yeah.
Because Republicans aren't against boss babes. They're not against like traditional female roles. Obviously, we know that with the recent events of Elon Musk and his new baby mama.
Yeah.
I had to throw that in there. Sorry.
You couldn't keep on the Black truth. But I'm just thinking, I'm like, what was the, like, cause I think that was maybe something that was like in the original movie, and then they decided to kind of like push it aside. Cause she has a costume in it too, but it's like she has it under like a jacket. So I'm like a superhero looking costume, but she didn't really do anything other than like be like, oh, I'm from Israel. She was basically, but like for the first half of the movie, I was like, she's basically like his handler. Like she was like, oh, don't do this, don't do that, and so I thought it was building to something else, but obviously,
But one of the two topics I wanted to cover was Sam Wilson and Betty. Did we talk about Betty or no?
yeah, we did.
Did we? Well, I want to get deep into that, but before we get into that, I wanted to talk about Sam Wilson. He didn't even feel like Captain America. He just felt like Sam Wilson with the fucking Captain America shield.
Yeah, I don't think he's so convincing at this point that he's gonna be like a big player. Yeah, cause I don't think he was ever like.
I mean, you know that there's talks about, I don't know if it's official yet, but Chris Evans is gonna come back.
I don't think he's gonna be Captain. He's probably gonna like
He might be a variant.
something like that. But they're not gonna try to. They're not gonna take back what they've already invested in with Anthony Mackie. And cause this movie still feels like that he knows that he's not Captain America at this point, because he did technically like fail on some level.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the movie, they kind of admit that.
Well, because the thing was, Red Hulk wasn't his fucking villain. That's really what it was. Red Hulk should have been in Hulk 3 or Hulk 2, whatever the fuck they were planning at first. Hawk Tua.
No, I said Hulk 2.
Hawk Tua.
Hulk 2.
Hawk Tua's been on that thing. Shit on that thing. But no, Red Hulk should have been a fucking.
They can't.
They can't.
They can't.
The legally speaking.
People, oh, they gotta do it. They can't.
Well, I mean, I know that. I know that. I know the logistics of it. But what I'm saying is that Red Hulk, should have been Hulk's villain, but they decided to shoehorn him in and then bring in a bunch of suckers like me that love that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He should have been doing like an espionage type of like, you know what? I think bringing in Kingpin would have been a better option than bringing in fucking Red Hulk. Because then they could have tied it into the whole fucking Devil's Reign thing. Because they are gonna do the Devil Reign in the MCU. That would have been better than doing Red Hulk. Red Hulk was, I mean, even the way he defeated Red Hulk didn't even make any fucking sense. He wakes up from a coma, right? While he was in that coma, Red Hulk should have fucking, can I have that? Red Hulk should have fucking smashed his fucking head into pieces, but he didn't for whatever fucking reason. Plot armor, I guess plot armor is what kept him safe, right? And then he wakes up from his coma, and then Red Hulk happens to wake up at the same fucking time after everybody shows up, and then he's like, "Oh no, Ross, this isn't you." Like,
well, I guess what they're trying.
He pulled a Drake. He pulled a Drake on him. Like, if you know the Drake is the type of nigga memes, if you know those memes, he pulls one of those on him. He's like, "This isn't you," and then he reverts back to Ross.
Yeah.
And then Ross goes like this, basically. He basically just takes off the gloves like that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm actually Indiana Jones. I mean Han Solo. I mean Harrison Ford. I mean Yellowstone. I mean General Ross or President Ross."
Oh, do you think this is? You just said like 10 minutes ago that this was a great movie.
It wasn't a great movie.
You just.
I mean, well,
It's a great.
no, it's because like,
Because I was because you're like building up your emotions on like just like Hulk nostalgia.
yeah, I think that's what it was.
That's all gonna get you.
Yeah, and yeah. You know what? You know what? I was emotionally manipulated, and that's what they did to me on Deadpool and Wolverine, right? And that's what they did in this movie too. They
Well, I think you're wrong about Ross, because I don't think he was necessarily. He was supposed to be like the big bad at the end, but they acknowledged that okay, he's not actually bad. He just needed to admit that he's wrong.
he was taking his medications.
No, they need to admit that they needed him to admit that he's wrong. And he was the only one who could defeat himself. That was it. And that's why in the ending of the movie, Sam has to go up to him in jail and just say like, "Oh, we respect what you did. We know that you had all these problems, but you did the right thing and you stepped down and you admitted to your crimes." Now, what is that supposed to mean?
Are they talking about this guy?
No, they're talking about both of them. He's basically
Yeah, we did talk about this before
No.
we started recording. Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, we did. But Ross in this movie, obviously, since he's the president in this one,
He's like an allegory for.
they made obvious like an allegory to like both. Like they took the faults of both Trump and Biden because they're like, oh, Trump's problems is that he's corrupt, he breaks the law, blah blah blah, and but at the same time he didn't want to serve his time. And then the faults with Biden, even though Biden does this, Biden's a fucking criminal. But his problem is that he knows that he shouldn't be running for office, or he knows that he's not fit to be president. Actually, no, they say the same thing with Trump too. So basically, it was the same qualities that they have for both people combined into one person, but then they go like, oh, well, in the idealized society, he would admit that he's wrong and go to prison and step down.
So
Because
no, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Do you want to further elaborate on that, or?
yeah, because that's why Sam.
I low key did notice that as we were watching the movie, the way they were talking about President Ross. I was like, this sounds a little bit. But I couldn't differentiate between like who does this sound like, Trump or Biden. But within the way you articulate it, it sounds like yeah, they were trying to.
They're trying to be like, oh, we're gonna pick both sides. We're not gonna explicitly say like, oh, this is like in there was like a Wonder Woman movie where didn't like Pedro Pascal basically play like Trump basically. I think they did something like that. They took Maxwell Lord and they basically like had him blonde and had him be Trump and everything. They didn't do that. They went like, okay, well, this is basically a problem that like all the presidents have at this time because they're all old and they all hold out to power.
Megalopolis did that too.
And they all have
Watch that video.
and they all have like all these like crimes and everything that they want to keep hidden. But then again with this movie, they went like, okay, here's the idealized version of how this person would like, cause they don't want to tell people that what Captain America should do should kill the president. So they were like, okay, no, what Captain America needs to do
is inspire the president to make the right choice.
Yeah, convince the president to not do that. So that's basically, yeah, it ends with Sam using his words instead of like fighting things out, and then that's supposed to be like,
well, then that's a good message, no?
yeah, and then that's supposed to be why he should be theoretically a good leader for the Avengers.
So, no, that is valid. I didn't look at it that way. Well, not that I didn't look at it that way. It was just hard for me to differentiate. Not differentiate, but I don't know. As we were watching the movie, I think because we're so red pilled, I just felt like they were trying to attack Trump through President Ross. But yeah, I mean
I don't know how you could. Did you not see like any Biden in Harrison Ford's performance?
no, because from what I understand, this movie was supposed to be woke. I mean, this movie was supposed to come out. I think this movie was supposed to come out like fucking 3-4 years ago.
I think it was supposed to.
This was supposed.
No, it was supposed to come out last year. You know how I know that?
Oh,
Don't call me big back or anything like that. But McDonald's like last summer, McDonald's had like Happy Meal toys based off of this movie. So it was obvious that they were waiting for this one to come out summer.
okay.
But
Well, so that is valid. Maybe they, but COVID did slow it down. I do believe that. I'm not trying to like make excuses for Hollywood, but I do think because even Daredevil was supposed to come out like a year or two ago. Daredevil was supposed to come out last year.
Yeah, you know, but I'm talking about like when it was.
I'm thinking more logistically. I don't know if you're thinking logistically.
Yeah,
and
fucking Happy Meal toy came out.
that's what I'm saying. You fucking big bag.
Fucking Happy Meal toy came out.
Bro, this nigga still gets Happy Meals.
No, I just went to the freaking McDonald's and I saw it there.
Or
Like,
toys.
no, I saw the toys, but I was.
Can I sit on them? Is that what you said?
No, I saw the toys and I was like, oh, shouldn't there be a movie coming out with these toys? But then it just said, oh, coming soon. So what I assume happened is that.
Yeah, I know it was supposed to come out last year. You're right, but because I mean I've been keeping up with the MCU. I think because I know you keep up with the comics.
What?
Keeping up?
You keep up with the MCU. You watch Critical Dream Bureau or
comic book cast? No. I was watching comic book cast, and a lot of these Marvel movies that have been coming out recently, the past like 3-4 years, were supposed to come out in 21 and 22. They were not supposed to be coming out in 25, 24, and 23. They were supposed to come out a lot fucking earlier. Even Daredevil Born Again was supposed to come out like a year or two ago. Same thing even with No Way Home. No Way Home took place right after the second Spider-Man movie. What was that one called? Far From Home. It was supposed to come out right after because that movie takes place right after the events of Spider-Man Far From Home. That's what I'm saying. All these movies were supposed to come out before, and the reason why I brought that up was because that's why we still see a lot of this woke shit or echoes from the woke shit. Because, I mean, Critical Drinker says it the best himself, right? To quote him, is that Marvel has been constipated and that shit needs to come out at some point, and they already invested too much into a New World Order or Brave New World, and it had to come out at some point. And they did all the reshoots because the reshoots were done recently within the past, I think, 6 months to a year.
That should be a year.
Maybe a year. But point is that this fucking movie was supposed to come out a long fucking time ago. Everything we've been seeing in Marvel in the multiverse saga was supposed to come out years ago.
I don't think that's a bad thing
I
necessarily.
mean, I don't think it's bad either. I'm just saying that this is why we see like echoes of the woke shit. That's why this movie was supposed to be more woke than it is. That's why they have little fucking nuggets.
Captain Israeli.
Yeah, Captain Israeli, Captain Black, all these guys.
Well, I think they needed this one probably to come out the most because they still need Sam to be that.
They've had it in the fucking pipeline for a minute.
Well, it's because he had
And here's
he had the show, so they needed to like fulfill the deal that okay, he had his show where he becomes Captain America. Now we have to have the movie.
Exactly, but the thing is, what I'm adding to it is that they had already invested so much into this movie that they had to come out with it, and that's why they did so many reshoots. Because now, since the political conversation has shifted more towards the right, is that's why they had to make the movie as centered as it is, attacking Trump and Biden.
Well, no, I think this movie was made like that. Like if it was like so last minute, I think this movie might have been made with the idea that like Kamala's gonna win.
Probably it was, but getting off of the politics, the last thing that I want to
Giancarlo Esposito. What do you think about?
Giancarlo Esposito. Can't believe we forgot about it. Forget about the last topic.
Did you know that
Forget about it.
he wasn't supposed to be? I think he was added into the movie as done the reshoots because who's like Seth Rollins, the WWE wrestler, he was supposed to play like a big character in this movie, and they basically said that when the reshoots happened, they were basically like, no, we're basically gonna write that character out. Because I don't know if you know what this is what Kevin Feige, I think, how he constructs. What he basically does with all the Marvel movies is that he basically just filmed, or they film a bunch of things, and then literally at the last minute, they find like when they edit everything to make it like a cohesive story. There's basically like 3 alternate endings in like every movie, I think.
Well, I mean, I know Kevin Feige is supposed to be like the filter for the Marvel movies, but going back to Giancarlo Esposito,
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that
Gustavo.
that they basically had like so many different versions of the movie that there's a version of the movie that had a totally different villain, and but Gustavo Fring, his character was added recently. That's why he has like a big, not he has like semi big role, but then he basically disappears like halfway into the movie.
Yeah, because I felt like his role definitely felt underplayed. He wasn't one of like the like selling points for the movie that Giancarlo Esposito was in it.
Definitely a selling point.
Yeah, he was definitely a selling point.
They needed like an actor that like people actually liked and wasn't like, I guess like younger, I guess, because like Harrison Ford is like people are, I don't know if they're iffy. They just know, okay, Harrison Ford is like, he doesn't want to be there.
He doesn't give a shit. He just wants to get his money. Did you see the interview when they asked him about a Hulk? He was like, I thought he was green, but I guess they're making me red.
But Giancarlo Esposito, he at least like I guess he brings some sort of enthusiasm, but like at the end of the day, he basically plays like the same character. And
he basically just played Gustavo Fring.
Yeah.
Post Breaking Bad, but yeah, you know what? Even in Megalopolis, didn't he feel like Gustavo?
Oh, actually, no. That was the one role where he felt kind of like he was doing something more. Well, I'm thinking more of like
every time I see Giancarlo Esposito, I always think about the end of Malcolm X. You've seen that movie?
Why?
Because I mean, it's still Black.
Is that movie?
Yeah, he's the one that kills Malcolm X.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Get your hand out of my pocket.
I didn't know that.
Get your hand out of my pocket. But getting off of Giancarlo Esposito, I want to talk about my love interest, Betty. Right, going back to the whole thing about
She looked beat.
dude. Look,
She hit the
the
wall.
Master should have had a bigger role in a fucking Hulk movie. So did General Ross or President Ross in this movie. But Betty, I always felt this. I'm gonna go on a Hulk rant. I always felt like she was the best love interest for Hulk in the MCU. I mean, when you see Edward Norton, I don't know if Mark Ruffalo would have been able to do this, but the romance between the fucking romance between Edward Norton and the girl that played Betty, and she's the daughter of Aerosmith, right?
Yeah, what's your name? Like, not Liv something.
So like you felt that fucking chemistry, bro. I honestly believe out of all of the fucking MCU love interests, she was the best. They had the best fucking romance between the two because she wanted to be with this fucking guy that was kind of a nerd, but not really. But he was like a bad boy and a fucking nerd all at the same time. And she loved this guy so much she was willing to betray not just her father but her country, right? And you really feel that. You really feel that in the first Hulk movie where fucking General Ross is like, you're not going out with my daughter, motherfucker. Right? That kind of like that boomer kind of thing where it's like, that's my daughter. I love my daughter. You're not going out with my daughter. And you really feel that in the fucking movie. So when they brought her back, I was emotionally manipulated. When she said goodbye to her dad, that really wasn't her dad because her original dad died IRL.
Yeah.
You know,
Actually, yeah, that's just what I felt when I saw him. Like, it would have like when she was just on the phone call, I could have been like, okay, that was it. You don't have to bring her back in because it doesn't really do anything because the Hulk that her movie was in isn't there. The Ross, Thunderbolt Ross in her movie wasn't there.
I think it was just a quick cash grab for her. And I think another thing that Marvel's been doing is pulling at the heartstrings, like when they brought back Mr. Fantastic and or Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness, and when they brought back fuck the guy that played Professor X. What's his name in real life?
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart. When they brought back Sir Patrick Stewart,
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. I just knew that.
he got knighted. When they brought back Sir Patrick Stewart, they were trying to pull at the heartstrings. That's the whole fucking thing that they did with No Way Home. They just pulled at the heartstrings because they knew niggas like me were gonna be like, oh my god, look, they brought back Tobey Maguire, they brought back Willem Dafoe and that fucking Puerto Rican nigga,
Yeah,
Alfred Molina. So I think that's what they did with Betty, and I just wanted to put that out there because I've always felt that, and I've never been able to articulate it in a video that Betty, played by the Aerosmith daughter, and Norton Smith, Edward Norton, that their love felt genuine. Now, if you want to talk about MCU, their relationship, Hulk and Betty, in that first MCU Hulk movie, felt more genuine than any other love interest because when you see Hulk and fucking Black Widow, it just felt so forced. Did you feel that or no?
yeah. All like the superhero relationships in the MCU.
It's just the guys cucking.
Well, it's the problem is just like the team is being too like what is it called? Not interracial. Inner.
What are you talking about? Spider-Man and Michelle Jones?
No, I'm just saying.
No, that felt
Oh,
forged.
so incestuous. That's what I feel because it's like if you guys are just like all superheroes, so it's like you guys just like skate. I don't know, maybe Robert Downey Jr. and what's your name?
Yeah, Pepper Potts, they had a good thing. But the thing about Pepper Potts and Tony Stark is it felt like Tony Stark was like the type of nigga that'll he'll cheat on his bitch any day of the week. I don't know if he did or not in the MCU continuity, but no, yeah, their love interest, you know what? That's what we're gonna do. Right now, I'm telling you right now, in this fucking video, we're gonna rewatch Hulk and do a fucking review of it. And glaze the movie basically for everything. Its cinematography, its score, the acting, the
Well,
story
you'll fall
itself.
asleep to it.
I won't. And yeah.
I don't know.
So going back to the movie,
To me, okay, these are my final thoughts of the movie. So I know, okay, like right now it seems like on the internet, it's cool to hate on the Marvel movies because There's so many of them. They've been so prevalent in the culture, and they're obviously on like a downfall. But to me, it kind of seems like basically the superhero genre is kind of repeating
The West,
what
the Western movies.
I've never seen a Western movie in my life, so I can't compare to that. Um, but they're repeating the same thing that happened to
The mob movies.
no, I'm talking about superhero comics.
Oh, okay.
Because at one point, superhero, even comics in general, that were printed and distributed in America, they had a mass appeal that anyone can get into. And at one point in time, superhero comics were more massively distributed in the country. But for a while, actually, ever since the assumption of the comic shop, basically what happened is that they only really stay in the comic shop, and unless you really want to get invested, you have to go to the comic shop. So what's happening now with Marvel movies or superhero movies in general? It just seems like they're trying to make it, or they're not really making it, but like the only people that they're really appealing to are people who already like these movies already, and can get like a quick fix, because that's what it feels like when I read
Like
superhero comics.
quick
Because
fix or take a girl out or your
'cause it's
family
like
out to the movies.
no, I'm trying to make it more deeper. It's bigger about family. Like, what are you're gonna have a family? No one's gonna have a family. They're gonna be watching these movies.
We're all gonna kill.
So what? So what this is?
Like think we drink.
What this movie is basically gonna be. This is a good example. Yeah. JSA #3. This came out like 2 months ago, I think. So I read it. I read it like at work on my break. I was like, okay, this is good. This is my good JSA fix for the time being. I'll come back next month and get the other one. That's what these movies are becoming. I'm gonna go into the movie theater. I'm gonna get my quick fix of live action superheroes, and then I'm gonna go come back to the next one. It's not that big. It's not, oh, well, it's going woke, it's on the downfall. No, it's just the people who want to see a superhero movie are becoming smaller, and those ones are gonna keep on staying. But at the end of the day, it's gonna take a downturn. But that's just natural because these things have been around for long enough. It was around in this form long enough. Then they figured out how to make it in live action, make it successful for long enough, and now it's gonna go back to being something that only a few people, mainly people who grew up with it, are gonna be interested in. My final thoughts.
So, do you just want to give it a quick rating? I mean, I want to rate it.
No, because those are my final thoughts. I'm not gonna have it.
Okay, so my final rating is my final thoughts is that the movie itself, it wasn't bad the way like people are talking about it on the internet, but it wasn't great either. I mean, if you took, like I said, if you took your family out to go see it, if you took a girl out to go see it, or maybe you're just trying to get lit with the boys and you went out to go see it, then it's a pretty good use of your money. That's pretty much it. Like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.